महफिल मित्रां दी सजदी रोज चुबारे महफिल मित्रां दी सजदी रोज चुबारे.
This is the Kowal family. They have 9 family members living under one roof. Their family consists of grandparents, parents, children, aunties, uncles and cousins. The Kowals, like many Indian households, live in a joint family structure. A joint family is a multi-generational family which includes lateral relatives such as nephews and cousins. In India, the average household has 4.9 people, whereas the average household in Australia only has 2.6 people. The family and how they live is a contrast from the Australian way of life, where nuclear families are the norm.
वो बच्चों से अपन वो जो बातचीत करते हैं ना उस बात में फ़र्क पड़ता है. बच्चों फैमिली में रहते हैं ना बच्चे तो उसी हिसाब से आगे काम करते हैं. जैसे होता है इधर देश में ये होता ही है ना, जॉइंट फैमिली होती है ना उसका परिवार थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है. और वो अकेला परिवार होता है तो बच्चों में भी वो दिमाग में थोड़े वैसा ही फ़र्क पड़ता है अकेलेपन का. ऐसे बच्चे सब में मिक्स हो जाते हैं, सबके साथ रहते हैं तो.
In India, when a couple gets married, it is tradition to move into the husband's home. To many Australians, this structure would be daunting, but for most Indian families, it is a way of life they would not change.
जॉइंट फैमिली में रहने का बच्चे पे बच्चे रिलेशन समझते हैं, रिश्ते समझते हैं कि क्या रिश्ता है. मेरा अभी अकेला बच्चा है वो क्या इतना रिश्ते के वैल्यू नहीं समझता. साथ में रहने से बच्चे समझते हैं, एक दूसरे के रिश्ते की वैल्यू समझते हैं.
Dr. Kailash Bamola from Amity University in Jaipur believes the joint family helps people socially, economically and emotionally. He says the emotional impact is the greatest benefit.
Especially when we talk about joint family system, so what happens, our grandparents got unofficial responsibilities to their grandchildren, that they have to teach them some values, because mostly parents are busy in their professional lives. They don't have much time to pass with their siblings or with their children. So what happened, the grandparents are there, they are retired. So what happened, in that process of time, they inculcate some values, some tradition within grandchildren.
In the 90s, many Indian families rejected living in a joint family and shifted towards living in a nuclear family. Dr. Bamola said that as a result, India saw the consequences of nuclear families. Now the number of nuclear families are declining, while the number of joint families are increasing.
Actually, when people were following nuclear kind of family system, so actually there was a lack of social support, emotional bonding. But when it goes to nuclear family system, so mother, father are engaged in the job, so children are left, whether in schools, whether some maid wife, so the values are missing.
Since ancient India, the average household has consisted of children, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles. At the heart of each family household lies the same core values and the willingness to teach these values to the next generation.
इधर देश में ये होता ही है ना, जॉइंट फैमिली होती है ना उसका परिवार थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है. और वो अकेला परिवार होता है तो बच्चों में भी वो दिमाग में थोड़े वैसा ही फ़र्क पड़ता है अकेलेपन का. ऐसे बच्चे सब में मिक्स हो जाते हैं, सबके साथ रहते हैं तो.
In recent decades, India has seen a shift away from a joint structure. However, the many benefits have pulled families back to living in a joint family.
Everybody comes to help to each other whenever it's a necessity to come. We help them, they help us.
This is the Binju family. They live in Jaipur. Their family consists of the children, the parents and the grandparents. With a joint family, the Binjus say there are many benefits.
खाना अपने आप नहीं बनाना पड़ता और अकेले रहने से डर भी लगता है ना. जॉइंट फैमिली में सब मिलके रहते हैं तो अच्छा ही लगता है.
And the negatives? Well, according to the Binju family, there are not many. The children say the worst part is that there are more people to get angry at them.
रोक टोक ज़्यादा होती है इसीलिए.
Despite India's recent social progression, the joint family structure remains stronger than ever. In the manicured suburbs of Brisbane, life is different compared to the noisy streets of Jaipur. The contrast in streetscape reflects a much deeper contrast in how these two societies are structured. India is a collectivist society, whereas Australia is an individualist society.
Nuclear kind of family system is about especially like selfish, more individualistic. And if I talk about collectivistic like joint family system, we are taking the whole world as one. We are taking the whole country as a one.
In Australia, it is every man for himself. Independence is valued. In India, unity is promoted. People must do what is best for society as a whole rather than themselves. Australia, being an individualist society, has resulted in nuclear families becoming the norm, as they promote individuality. The Australian Bureau of Statistics found the nuclear family is the most common family structure in Australia. Around 1 in 3 Australians live in a nuclear family household. It is dinner time in the Grierson family household. They are a family of 5 who live in Brisbane's north. The Griersons are a typical example of a nuclear family. The Griersons were asked how they would feel about living in a joint family.
No.
No. No. I think that'd be a bit chaotic.
Never. No.
No, I don't think so.
Because there'd be way too many. That'd be dreadful.
I think we kill each other.
This is only one Australian family. However, it is clear that Grierson's opinion projects a view which many Australians hold. According to the Australian Institute of Family Studies, only 1.5% of Australian children are living in extended family households. Although Australians are reluctant to live with other relatives, as they value their independence, the Indian joint family system grants Aussies an opportunity to reflect and learn from the joint structure. Australia is heading towards an uncertain future. With population booming, living costs soaring, and wage growth plateauing, perhaps Australia needs to reanalyse their family structure in order to create a more sustainable future. Ritu Singh from the College of Home Science found people from a joint family were more socially mature and more emotionally stable than people from a nuclear family. Dr. Barmola from Amity University believes India will reap long-term benefits from living in joint families, as social pressures fall on the group rather than on the individual, easing the burden.
If I talk about long-term result, so I would prefer joint family system, and though there will be some challenges of economical issues, there will be some problem of finance and all, but at the end, if I talk about human values, if I talk about the human life and human nature and love for each other and one another, I think that can be given only in joint family system, which is not available in, I think, nuclear family system.
Clearly, Indian and Australian societies are culturally different, and thus both societies have naturally chosen family arrangements which benefit them. Each family structure works in a unique way and results in unique benefits. However, by taking a look at India's joint family structure, there are certainly things which Australia could draw on which would ease the burdens of individualist living. Reporting for the University of Queensland, Laura Sinclair, Jaipur, India.